Hi peeps, it's Martin. Just a quick one. Got myself a new camera, pretty stoked about it. Definitely rapt about this one. It is a beautiful camera. I mean, Sony is a very, very good brand, there's no doubt about that. And that's why I've got two tellies that are Sony, and I've got 4 Sony cameras. This is the 4th one. I've got a Panasonic and I've got a Zoom H2N. So yeah, as far as cameras go, I've got enough now. But I need them, you know, when you're doing a festival. You need to have a variety of cameras. I'm going to give you a tour in a little while of why I can't get anybody else in this house at the moment, because there's just no room for anybody. At the moment I'm in my loft, and this is where I've set all my weights up. And then the other 2 rooms that I've got, one's a bedroom and one's a bigger room, which is also a bedroom, but at the moment it's the music room. It's where the PA is. I'm going to give you a little tour. Hi everybody, how's everybody doing? So this is my loft area where I just keep lots of stuff that I don't really need to lay my hands on that quickly. You know, I can afford to leave them up here because there's no hurry. You know, they can stay up here for months and months before I do anything about it. In the winter it's always a bit cold to come up here and do the weights, but very refreshing and very invigorating. And I still do the weights no matter what temperature it is, because I just enjoy keeping myself fit. I'm going to give you a bit of a tour now. And bear with me, because we're now going to scale the ladder. So here we go. I'll just turn the camera down so you know what I'm doing. Well, here we go. Oh, I do love this camera. It is a beautiful one. So petite. And what a good brand. So this is one of my rooms where I just keep... Excuse my throat. I've been coming down with something. My condenser mic, which I'm very, very happy with, an SE. It's a very good sound. Very dynamic sound. And also, what do we have in this room? We have my main camera, which I'm glad I got. You know, it's PXW Z150. And this is what you would call entry level to broadcast quality productions. You could actually do a mini series with this particular camera. There's no doubt about that. It would lend itself to that kind of capability. And I've just got a tripod with it. Manfrotto, I think that's an Italian brand. Very, very solid tripod, that one. I took it to the festival last year and it was just perfect. Did the job. Absolutely amazing. Also in this room I always keep my PA gear. I've got myself an HK Audio, German audio company, and these are excellent. 2 satellite tops. There's your sub, and then you just link them to your other sub and to your other sats, and that's perfect. And the sound is phenomenal. Also keep my second computer here, you never know. I'm going to have a tour of downstairs now. Well, this is my small room. This is where I like to crash out. My PS4, PS3. It's my motorized satellite system. Yeah, I've got a lot of stuff. I think you call it boys' toys. And there's my main computer there, which is a very good one, Dell XPS. Although I may invest in a 4K one very shortly, which would be really good. Right, so we're going to go downstairs now. Now, a lot of you know that I was contemplating making a studio. The studio is still going to go ahead, most definitely. And this is the room I'm going to be preparing the studio in. I've just got to get rid of this leather suite. Once I got rid of that leather suite, and I get rid of those 2 chairs there, and I scale back everything that's in here. There's my bike, and there's a karaoke unit, and my big 55-inch Sony Bravia. But once I clear this area, I'm going to put carpet down in this here. So this would be proper studio room. I'm contemplating this back wall, making it a green screen. Green screen would be absolutely excellent. if I want to do some special stuff. I'm going to keep a fixed camera on the wall there. I've got another Sony. I'm absolutely obsessed with Sony stuff. I've got that much of it. This is a really good camera, this one. And I just mounted it on the wall, faced it towards the bar. The bar is going to feature quite heavily in the studio. I think it should as well, because it is quite a decent bar in the regard that if I have a party, I can set the sound controller to lights. Sound to light it's called. And it will flash to the beat of the music, and it's pretty cool. And I've just linked in a couple of Rocket 6s. And that's a really, really good sound. Very, very stoked. Absolutely impressed with the sound you get out of those. So, yes, this house is a boy's house, isn't it, really? There's not a lot of girly things here. It's just full of men's toys. And that's the way it's become since I got divorced. I've just decided that, you know, I may as well have all my stuff here. And I don't really have much to say about what's happening with the JWs at the moment. I'll be speaking to my mum and dad because it's their anniversary today. I think they've been married 52 years. That's worth celebrating. You know, anybody that's been married as long as that, and they're still together, although, you know, they're getting older, and my dad's got Parkinson's, as you know. And that is a worry to me, you know, knowing that I am going to lose him one day. And I'm almost prepared for that, you know, because you have to do. You have to prepare yourself for it, because it is going to happen. That nobody lives forever, as you know. We were meant to live forever, but Adam and Eve put paid to that, didn't they? Unfortunately. But the actual thought of living forever used to scare the living daylights out of me, because I used to think, what on earth am I going to do? When I wake up in the morning, what am I going to do? And I remember saying this as a little boy to one of the elders, and I says to him, I don't want to live forever because I get bored. And he started laughing. And I says, why are you laughing? He says, well, Martin, he says, you have to realise that during this time, when you're in a place where there's no outside influences, and you'll be given the capability to use the full potential of your brain, he says you won't be bored because you'll be discovering new things all the time. And I says, well, what do you mean by that? He says, well, is there anything that you've wanted to do, but you can't afford it? Or is there something that you've wanted to be in life, but you didn't have the talent for? And I says, well, yeah, I suppose there is. I suppose I wanted to be a professional surfer. I'm just an amateur at the moment. He said, well, he says, in the new system, if that was your hobby and that was your chosen belief, he says you'd be able to become the best surfer the world's ever known. And I says, oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. So I says, you mean that there'll be no boundaries? That when you learn a new skill, the boundaries that are associated with this system won't be in that new system. There'll be no restrictions, so you'll be able to just go ahead, learn this new skill, become absolutely first class with it, and be the best that you've ever been, and not be overtaken by anybody, because you will have reached an absolutely amazing high standard. I says, is that what you mean? He says, precisely. That's what everybody will be able to achieve. He said, you think of the cleverest person that's ever lived? And I said, well, Einstein comes to mind. He said, in the new system, he says, we'll be able to use 100% of our brains. I says, well, I have read that we only use 7% at the moment, and 7% of your brain is very limited. He says, yes, that's right. He says, but in the new system, he says, we'll probably use 100%. I says, well, that could mean that we might have the means to communicate through telepathy, or, you know, other means that we certainly can't do now anyway. He says, well, who knows, Martin? He said, but let's just get back to the original thought, and that is that you won't be bored, that you will simply be learning and learning all the time. Now that is another doctrine, another JW doctrine that was thumped into my psyche. And the fact that I'm talking about it now still means it's there somewhat. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed a tour of my house, and you must know I'm still serious about setting up this studio, which will get done, but I want it to be a successful venture because I'm going to pour some money into it. And also I am contemplating coming down to London and to film some of the protesting. I just hope that the protesting is done in a peaceful manner, the way it was done at Warwick. That was quite commendable, and everybody that was there, I thank you for not kicking off with the JWs. Now that it's the same in London and it's peaceful, I very much would like to be there and to do some filming and then to do some editing afterwards. But I'm sure that there are going to be people bringing their cameras down, and the whole thing is going to be very much documented, which will be really, really, really good. Anyway, I'm just going to leave it there. So thank you all for listening. And my latest new camera, my Sony X3000, signing off. Goodbye.